For today's cup of coffee, I asked him if he was ready. I really, really did.
Yes.
But I think that's his way of greeting you all.
Yes.
So.
That is. Welcome.
There he is. He needs some medicine or something.
No, I'm good. Hi, welcome.
A little bit of decongestant there.
Hi, welcome. That's my greeting.
We have from Daily Mail, and it says by Josh Boswell, and was written October the 31st of 2022. It says a classified report due to be sent to Congress, and I'm not sure exactly which Monday that he was talking about, because I didn't know if that was supposed to be October 31st or if it's supposed to be November 7th. But either way, they've already delayed it. It says it lists more than 150 cases of unexplained UFO encounters by military and government officials in the past year, sources told DailyMail.com exclusively. So I think it's pretty cool. Now, they actually do have exclusives where different people will talk to them directly. It says the 22-page report compiled by the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, the ODNI, analyzes 366 cases, and only about half of them could be explained, two sources close to the department said. Examples include video shot by Reaper drones conducting surveillance in the Middle East that caught on camera orbs flying around and then suddenly bolting off the screen.
Oh.
It says others. Yeah. And it's like, you got to wonder, it's like, what if these orbs are supernatural? They're not even taking that into account.
I mean, yeah, like orbs are supernatural.
Well, they can be.
But people are like, it's either dust or something else.
Right. There's always those kind of people. Others, an ODNI source said, are similar to the infamous encounters by Navy F-18 fighter pilots who saw, filmed, and registered on radar tic-tac and gimbal-shaped craft flitting over the ocean near training areas off the U.S. east and west coast, moving at supersonic speeds and performing incredible maneuvers with no apparent means of propulsion. And so I had looked up as far as this gimbal. And basically it looks like a gyroscope.
But is it like, which gimbal was he talking about though? Was it the gyroscope gimbal or was it like the other tool gimbal?
It's the... Oh, you're talking about the computer tool?
Yeah.
No, he's talking about the physical one that looks like a gyroscope.
Okay.
So that gives people a little bit... Y'all can look it up and see the different forms of that. It says the G-forces from the sharp turns were so extreme that they would have crushed the skull of a human pilot trying to perform the same maneuver. And some cases had explanations as mundane as weather balloons. Yes, the always infamous was a weather balloon. But among the explained cases are brand new surveillance by foreign adversaries, the source said, including Chinese spy drones attempting to gather information on U.S. military pilot training. A public version of the report, stripped of classification or classified information, which means that you get like one or two words per page, is due to be published by ODNI some Monday. But sources say both the classified and unclassified versions have been delayed by a few days. Now that could be months because they always drag their feet. Government anything drags its feet.
Yeah.
But expects the public to be just to the second, because that's just how that works. It says the UFO dossier is the debut of a new annual report mandated by last year's National Defense Authorization Act, the NDAA.
Bjork's debut.
Part of a slew of new legislation forcing more transparency and action by the government on unexplained phenomena in our airspace and seas. The 366 cases sources described in the classified report represent a large increase from the 144 covered in a preliminary assessment published last year by the ODNI. The June 2021 dossier said one case had been explained as a balloon, and of the remaining 143 unexplained cases dated between 2004 and 2021, 80 reports involved observation with multiple sensors. I don't even know what that means. It says that all the cases came from U.S. government sources. And that was one of the things that aggravated, I can't remember his name, Tom DeLay or whatever, that was with Blink 182, that he has been a very strong proponent of the public being able to admit their sightings to the government.
Yeah.
And so the government is still not wanting to acknowledge sightings by random citizen.
No.
Members of the intelligence community who are eager for the government to address the issue of unexplained craft in our skies were disappointed by the report's focus on the cases investigators were able to solve. The ODNI source stated, quote, "They're patting themselves on the back that they've resolved over half of them, but we don't give a crap about the ones they've resolved. Yeah, there's balloons up there, and balloons are sometimes mistaken for a UAP, but there are shitloads of classified videos that are pretty profound and pretty clear. They don't want to talk about this stuff because they really, really don't know what the hell they are. That's the truth," end quote.
I hate that term, UAP.
I know. Well, do they think that people are not going to use that it's not going to become...
It's going to have
just
the same
like
connotation
UFO.
just as much as UFO does.
It's going to be worse because it's a government label.
Yeah.
So, anything that they do like that backfires. The classified report has been sent to the Armed Services, Appropriations, Foreign Affairs or Relations, and Intelligence Committees of the House and Senate. The 2022 NDAA, signed into law last December, requires the government to release a public report on UFO incidents each year by October the 31st, with a classified annex sent only to lawmakers with security clearance. However, sources told DailyMail.com that ODNI instead wrote a single classified report and is running a few days behind schedule, delivering it to Congress and creating a public declassified version. Single page.
Yeah, single.
The ODNI source said there are dozens of classified UFO videos sitting on government servers filmed by MQ-9 Reaper drones abroad. The source said, quote, "These drones operate 20 to 25,000 feet in the air and they're flying around. We're keeping an eye on bad guys all over the world."
Bullshit.
That's their quote. They're keeping an eye on the public. An operator will be zoomed in looking at a town in Syria, and all of a sudden a little orb will go flying through the viewfinder. The operator's like, "What the hell?" And so he starts focusing on it and just watches the orb for a while. We might get it for 30 seconds. We might watch it for 10 minutes. And then it will do something remarkable, like suddenly bolt off the screen, end quote. One tape seen by the source shows a UFO diving into the ocean without making a splash.
Really? Huh.
Now that defies laws of physics as we know it.
Yeah. Unless it did something,
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, of course there are some divers, like these Olympians and stuff, that's one of the ways they're judged is by how little splash. But to have no discernible splash at all... And these are not small objects.
No.
And so they said that there are some pretty spectacular videos. The ODNI source was critical of their department's dossier, saying it glossed over the many intriguing and worrying unexplained cases. The source said, quote, "It's not as detailed as you might hope. It spent a lot of time jumping into the foreign surveillance that was discovered, which has nothing to do with UAPs. There's a lot of attention to that and just about nothing about the other 49% that were not resolved," end quote. Ryan Graves, one of the Navy F-18 pilots who encountered gimbal-shaped objects pulling high-gravity turns and showing no propulsion or heat signature on infrared cameras, tweeted on Friday about the danger of ignoring such cases. Expect to continue seeing periodic attempts to cling to the social high ground used to mock those who broach this topic of UAP, Groves wrote. He continued, conclusive commentary on UAP undermines national security, aviation safety, and common sense. It's okay to be wrong. Ignoring the issue is not acceptable, end quote. The ODNI source said that the classified report did promise lawmakers better data in the future due to improved systems for military personnel to report UFO incidents and a more proactive approach from the recently revamped UFO task force, which operates out of the office of the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security. Government bullshit is more paper pushers.
Yeah.
The informant told DailyMail.com, quote, "We didn't go out searching for them. We accidentally stumbled into them. Now they're actually creating collection plans to go out and try to learn more for the first time. That's something that's been happening just in the last 6 months. We're probably seeing 5 a month, maybe 10 a month. In a single report, you might have 10 incidents. There was a section that said that because this effort is growing. Future reports would be vastly more detailed and contain much more data. I am more hopeful than not that we're heading in the right direction," end quote.
Damn.
And again, this is official. This is military and stuff.
Yeah.
The sightings in the public have gone up exponentially also. The news comes after NASA announced its own team of 16 experts will begin an unidentified aerial phenomenon study lasting 9 months. The 2023 NDAA, set to be voted on before the year end, includes whistleblower protections for officials disclosing previously secret government projects involving UFOs to the task force, and creates a system for intelligence officials to report highly classified incidents to the task force without violating their security oaths. Now, do we really believe that these whistleblowers are going to be protected? No. Now, how much have we seen over the past couple of years as far as the government protecting anyone except their own asses?
Exactly. They don't do shit. They protect their own people, but as far as anyone else, no. They throw their asses under the bus.
Well, that's what happens when you have people that's trying to do a tyrannical, totalitarian reign.
Yeah.
But they're saying that they're doing something because the public has been demanding this for a very long time. Do I expect them to release anything of any validity? No. I mean, there's certain things that they're wanting to wait. I know as far as some of the CUF data that they had wanted it released after 55 years, and then they had upped it to where they wanted it to be released after only, it was either 65 or 75 years.
That means they have something to hide.
Oh, absolutely. It means they have something to hide. That's just like all this other stuff. Now, if there is a top secret, which very possible, reverse engineered type thing, and somebody sees that, like poor little Bob Lazar, God love him.
He's been hounded to death.
Absolutely.
Because he saw something he wasn't supposed to.
Well, I'm surprised that he has lived. Because a lot of these people that have witnessed something did not live.
Example.
Right.
They're using him as an example.
Well, yeah.
And if they simply offed him, they wouldn't get their point across.
Well, I guess that's true. I mean, he was smart enough to go to the media first of all, knowing that if something happened to him mysteriously, that the information was already out there.
Yeah.
And had they offed him, not only would they have made him a martyr, but I mean, those of us that already don't trust the government, I mean,
it would have just proved our point.
Yeah, I mean, I think anybody who just blanketly trusts our government at this point is either totally deceived or over medicated.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what's concerning. There were some older people, because they were trained in this, that if you've got somebody on the news, then that's the truth. That's, that's gospel.
Which that's not the case anymore.
Never was. It never was. It was always propaganda. They have always controlled the information that the public knows.
I mean, there's been cases where people have exposed that they have completely faked things.
Sure.
Like as far as weather events that have happened, they faked those.
I'm trying to think which. I think it was 60 Minutes, which was supposed to be investigative journalism back in the day, that they were talking about whatever kind of truck was supposed to explode if it was, upon impact. And come to find out that they had put charges under the truck so that it would purposefully explode. And that the way that the gas tanks were designed, that is not what happened.
Yeah, right.
And I don't remember what truck manufacturer it was, but I hope that they sued.
They more than likely did, because that is defamation.
Sure it is.
And that is, that does damage their sales.
Sure. And they've done that. I mean, they're not even trying to hide it at this point.
Not anymore. They put it out. They put everything out in plain sight because nobody pays attention.
Well, there's a lot of us paying attention. Coffee slurp.
Oh, Lord. Do the slurp. Do the dramatic slurp.
If I do that, I will get strangled, and then I'll have to edit.
Here, I'll do it for you. Give me that. Give me that shit. I'll do it for you.
Don't you spill that on the microphone.
I hate black coffee, but I'll do it.
That's somebody else's shtick. That's not mine.
I didn't do it well. That's a proper slurp.
Okay, that's a goal. All right.
Afterwards, it was a goal.
Anyhow, we still got the sinus thing, sorry. But within this is, Operation Mockingbird.
The black coffee, that taste
that is
black
real.
Coffee.
I love it. It's like I said, it's an essential, food group for me.
Do you see this face?
I do. But we're talking about Operation Mockingbird. That's the same. That is the same face that I make when I realize that people are believing propaganda. But there are a few people that are beginning to wake up, because the devil always overplays his hand. Always. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so it's interesting to hear the Mockingbird media at this point sit there and go, oh, people don't trust the government. No shit.
Really?
Some of us never did. Some of us Gen X that grew up, the Vietnam thing, and then for these people to come home after the Vietnam thing. Yeah. And to talk to these people and realize what happened on a lot of that stuff, as far as MK Ultra, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things I was going to do, never did get around to on Halloween, was to make me a tinfoil hat that had a sign on it that says conspiracy fact. Because even the term conspiracy theory was designed by either the FBI or the CIA. That's proven.
Yeah.
So, again, psyops. Oh, this person has a different opinion. They're questioning this. We will put this ugly label to them so that other people, think that they're just crazy and they won't listen to them. Mm-hmm. People still doing that to people that have been yeeted, and that they tried to get them yeeted off the entire internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which was crazy. Which only made people go, after so many years, go, damn, he's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But this gimbal thing, when I first, because I was looking at it, I'm like, I don't know that I know exactly what that is. The gyroscope looking thing, first thing I thought of when I looked at it was from from scripture, as far as Ezekiel, the wheel within a wheel. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not saying that's what it is, but that was my gut reaction, and a lot of times I would go with that gut reaction.
I was like, I wonder if it was an angel, though.
Well, and that's where we were.
Because, that was the biblically accurate angel.
Well, like I said, that was either a seraphim or a cherubim.
Mm-hmm. It was one of those. Because those are high ups.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. The term angel simply means messenger.
Mm-hmm.
Scripturally, there is nowhere that it says that they have wings.
You can get a message from any of them at any point for any reason.
Yeah.
And it will spook the fuck out of you.
Well, I'm sure that it would. But as far as in Scripture, it was a matter that the angels looked like people.
Yeah.
And it was what I was going to tell you before we started recording, and other people may be interested in this also. There's a YouTuber, L.A. Marzulli. And I will actually, if I can remember, I'll put a link to the video here with this. And he has, as far as eyewitness reports of supernatural things.
Everyone knows of L.A. Marzulli.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay. I like L.A. Yeah. Now, he's got a little bit of carnival barker to him, but he's a good guy. I like L.A. And
I thought he was dead for some reason.
No, you're probably thinking about Chuck Missler. Because we listen to these alternative people as far as Scripture, that they actually take the stuff seriously. He had an interesting interview a few days ago that I had watched about a gentleman that had an encounter with a being that he thought, they called them Nords, but these were I can't remember what the actual term for this alien race was, but they were the ones that were tall, blonde, all this stuff, and said that this being was very androgynous.
Oh my god, I know which one you're talking about, but I cannot remember the name. And I can see them.
Yeah.
Though.
I always thought that was what the elves in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, that was sort of what they're based off of.
And so that he had spoken to this individual, and that it turned its body, usually when you just turn around to talk to somebody, your hips have to move. That's just how the human body is designed. Mm-hmm. Did not. This one did not.
So it was like a twist and turn Barbie on that.
Sort of.
So it just like torso moves, but
right.
The whole hips can just stay in place.
Yep. That's a good example.
That's odd.
And that there were other people, he's got some really interesting interviews. I'm glad he has gone, this direction with his channel, where he's talking to actual, people that have had these experiences.
Yeah.
And this guy was not the only one. If you go through there and read the comments, bunches of people.
Huh.
So,
okay.
Do I believe that one of the reasons the government does not want to disclose a lot of this stuff? Do I think that it is fallen angel technology?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They don't want people to get a hold of it. They don't want people to know of it.
Right. And
because they want their plan to go to plan.
Sure.
And that's the thing. Their plan is a slow, but at the same time, fast burn.
Well, it's death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah.
And these, I thoroughly believe they're interdimensional beings. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that thinks that the UFOs, that it is a matter of going between dimensions, and that's how they can just disappear.
No, actually, I think they can. I think they can travel from different dimensions because they got the technology to.
Sure. Because
they got cloaking devices, they got everything.
That makes a hell of a lot more sense to me than a craft from, however many light years away traveling here. Because what would be the point?
Oh, they can just
interdimensional beings wanting to screw up humanity because they hate us. That I can understand.
Yeah.
Because they are trying to destroy what our Creator made. Yeah. So interesting stuff. Do you have anything else that you wanted to add?
I don't got shit about shit.
Link to the article will be in the description box. If you've had experiences with the paranormal, supernatural, encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, if you would like to comment about the gimbal, I would like for people to go and look at a picture of this and tell me what they think. It does, it is a gyroscope, but it's also, I don't know, other things that they're putting on here Shipboard compasses is one thing.
Yeah.
So
shipboard compasses.
That one, like I said, was interesting that people were seeing that. I didn't understand that was the type of UFO that some people were seeing.
I didn't even know that was a UFO.
So
I didn't know that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Send us an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com, and we'll ponder more great ponders. Know that you're loved.
Yeah. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe and click that notification button for daily notifications of our daily uploads. Thank you all, and have a good.
We'll see you on the next go.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.